Okay, I hope y'all can hear me because I'm not sure since I'm on my phone if it's actually working. Because I have to have the tripod bent over in order to record. All right, I was gonna play my intro, but it's too complicated. Trying to get all of this set up. Welcome back, these peeps. We are here for another Chef on a Budget Eat Your Way Healthy segment. And I'm letting you guys join me as I start prepping for my dinner. I may or may not go live again tonight, depending on how long this all takes and whether or not I feel up to coming on live. Because we will be doing the celebration of the 5,000 subscribers more than likely tomorrow. So give me 1 second. I'm actually prepping the sweet potatoes, but I don't want to set the pan that I'm using on top of the cutting board because I just cleaned the cutting board off. So I'm going to be making pico de gallo, salsa, sweet potatoes, and some steamed broccoli and cauliflower that is frozen because whenever I get groceries delivered, I don't really trust like them picking out my produce, especially when it comes to broccoli, because they tend to not really pay attention. And as a chef, I'm very picky about my produce. And the last few times I've gotten groceries delivered and gotten broccoli, it's been molded. So that's the only reason why I'm doing frozen, because I typically don't like to use frozen vegetables because of the sodium that is used to preserve the vegetables. So y'all give me a quick second. Okay, so I've got two large sweet potatoes. It's there on parchment paper. I'm getting ready to stick these in the oven because sweet potatoes do take quite a while to bake. So these can be baking as I'm doing my prep. I want to thank everybody who came in last night to last night's live. Thank you for everybody who decided to subscribe and like and comment on the content. I really do appreciate you guys. All right. So hopefully you guys can see, because again, I had to use my tripod, so I can't really see the screen too well unless I bend like all the way down. So I've got fresh Roma tomatoes, um, some white onion, some lime, and of course some cilantro. And then I've got a can of diced tomatoes. So more than likely, I'm gonna make pico de gallo with these three, and then make fresh salsa with the canned tomatoes. And I need to set my, oh, I can't because I'm on StreamYard. Okay, let's go. It's about 6:30, so I'm gonna check those potatoes in about 45 minutes, so about 7:15. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I've already washed off the tomatoes. As I've told you guys, I never use tap water for any of my prep. Tap water is very much so contaminated, especially with fluoride. And fluoride blocks your pineal gland, otherwise known as your third eye. So I do not use tap water in any of my prep. I use either purified drinking water or here there is filtered water on the stainless steel, not stove, Lord God, stainless steel refrigerator. So what I'm getting ready to do is take some paper towels. I'm going to show you the easiest way to prep cilantro. You want to make sure that you thoroughly clean it. I've seen so many people pick up herbs and just start prepping them, and they are dirty and contaminated and still contain parasites from the soil that they grow from because they grow in the ground. So if you buy produce, please make it a point to actually clean your produce off. Don't just rinse it off. Actually get a towel, wet it up with some purified drinking water and or filtered water and or distilled water and actually clean them. I have taught this in every single restaurant where I've been a certified culinary trainer. When it comes to food safety and sanitation, that is something that's imperative to me. I am nationally served state certified for food protection management, and I have also had food poisoning myself. So you will never see me prep food with my bare hands. You will always see me wearing gloves, and I will always teach you not just how to cook like a chef on a budget, but how to prep properly. Because food safety protection is the exact reason why people get foodborne illnesses. For those that don't know what a foodborne illness is, it's essentially food poisoning. So if you ever go to a restaurant and eat food and within 4 to 6 hours you get sick, you more than likely have norovirus or another foodborne illness, usually due to the way that that food was prepped and or stored. Um, Cold foods need to be held at 135 degrees and lower. No, hot foods need to be held at 135 degrees or lower if you're holding hot food. Cold food needs to be stored at 41 degrees and lower. So, as I've told y'all, I've been a chef for well over 25 years. So, but what I do in restaurants, I actually do also at home. It's not just a restaurant practice, it's a life practice for me. So, I cleaned off the cilantro, and then I've got the paper towels wetted in, and I'm going to show you why in a second. You'll see all the dirt and um, nastiness that comes off of it. So first thing I'm going to do is just do a quick dice on the Roma tomatoes. I always start vertically, slice them in half. I probably should have sharpened my knife, but it's cool. And then I always slice them again in half. Oh, you know what? I need to check Facebook because for whatever reason, every time I go on the live stream, it doesn't send a notification to Facebook. Let me see if it'll let me do it. I hope the tab doesn't close, y'all. Bear with me. Oh, back on. Okay, it should be. All right, because I'm like, I don't know what it is. I don't ever use Google Chrome because Google tracks and monitors everything and they start popping up ads everywhere. I use DuckDuckGo, but I swear every time I jump out of the mobile browser tab, it basically makes me reload the page. And that's why y'all always see me using my laptop whenever I multi-stream. All right, so hey Joy, thank you for tuning in, my love. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being a consistent viewer. These peeps, for those who have not, go under my community page on my YouTube channel and scroll down to Joy in Sneakers YouTube posts that I shared. As I told y'all, I support those who support me. I appreciate every one of my viewers and subscribers. And I figured since I'm cooking, I may as well come on and record and show y'all because it's more than just, the lives where I'm on camera talking about stuff. As I told y'all before, I'm multi-talented. I am a executive chef, pastry chef, certified culinary trainer. I've managed in kitchens. I've opened restaurants. For those that live in Houston, if you've ever eaten at the Woodlands Longhorn Steakhouse, I opened that restaurant in 2013. So it's more than music, it's more than editing. I am also a chef. And the only reason I'm not working in that professionally is because of a GI condition that I did surgery for that I still deal with every day. So when I get a chance, I will come on live and do my Chef on a Budget Eat Your Way Healthy. Again, chefing on a budget, eat your way healthy segments I started to actually help myself and others heal naturally with what you eat, and also to show you how you actually can cook like a chef on a budget. Because even the meal that I'm prepping tonight, this was all well under $30 for everything, and that's including even non-food items. So I would say like these tomatoes were like $1, the limes were $1, the onion was $1, the cilantro was 58 cents. So I will be doing more of these segments as I have time. All right, so as you guys can see, that was a quick dice of some Roma tomatoes. And I can't see, I keep bending over. Okay, I think you guys can see the bowl. You should be able to see the bowl. Yeah. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right, so I got the tomatoes diced. Um, Let me check out these diced tomatoes. I'm gonna put those in this little navy bowl. And just another fun fact, always wipe off the top of your cans before you actually open them, because a lot of times there can be bacteria and contaminants on top of the cans. And I know a lot of people will fold the top of the can in. If you do that, you're technically contaminating the tomatoes. So always wait until after you've dumped them out to do that, because you may unintentionally get fine metals into the can, and fine metals also cause parasites in the digestive tract. Okay, so 1 can of diced tomatoes. When I make my salsa, I like it chunky. So I'm not gonna like put that in a food processor. And plus, I just realized my Ninja is not even here with me. It's at my storage. The small Ninja that I have, I use to prep my aloe wash that I told you guys about that I use, make from fresh aloe. All right, so I think these 2 limes should be enough. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and slice the onion. Give me 1 second to grab the storage bags. Actually, no, I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna saute the rest of the onion. Since I am gonna be making steak, I normally don't eat beef, but because my iron is low, I'm gonna go ahead and eat and prep some actual steak tonight. I think one of them is a filet, and I don't remember the other cut of steak because it was food I went to go pick up. So give me 1 second. So all I did was cut 4 slices into the onion, and I'm gonna peel the onion away from the cutting board so that the outer pieces don't contaminate it. And then I'll bring it back to the cutting board and show you guys how I'm gonna slice it. So I will dice some of the white onion for the pico de gallo and the salsa. And then the rest of the onion, I'm gonna leave sliced. And when the steak is done, like when it's resting, then I'll saute the onion. Here's another chef hack I need you guys to know. So I've worked in so many different restaurants where we cooked and served protein that had to be carved, whether it was steak, whole turkeys, whole chickens, um, pork butt, whatever. When you cook a protein like steak, or really any protein, whether it's chicken, steak, turkey, let it rest for 5 minutes before you slice it. The reason that meats dry out really fast is because when you immediately slice it after it's cooked, you actually release all of the juices that create the broth essentially that holds the moisture. So the best thing to do is let it rest for 5 minutes before you slice it. I don't have a bag to put these onion pieces in. I hate putting that in the trash though, because then it'll like stink. It'll smell really bad. Hold on, you guys. As I told you, I'm exceptionally clean, and when it comes to food prep, really just with my lifestyle, I'm very OCD. So I hate when you go to throw something away and you open a trash can and all you smell is onions. So I always keep I discard into a bag. All right, so you always want to cut off the very tip of the onion, cut the core off. I'm going to show you guys something else I'm sure you didn't know. Now, I've been working in restaurants for years, so slicing onions doesn't bother me when it releases the gas. It's like I'm immune to it. But in the center of this onion, see this little part that's green? That's the bulb of the onion. Remove that. That is actually what releases the gas that makes your eyes water. And that's also what causes acid reflux. So if you find yourself belching a lot after you eat something with fresh onion, it's because the bulb it's holding the gas. All right, so yeah, even on this one, a lot of people don't, these are things people don't know unless you've been professionally trained or have gone to culinary school. All right, so I think I'm gonna leave this for the part I'm gonna saute. So let me make sure you guys can see. All right, so I'm just giving it, and I wanna show you up close. See the grooves of the onion? I'm slicing according to the grooves. And I just realized I probably should have grabbed my nitro gloves because the vinyl ones, I hate getting that onion smell on my fingers. I told you I have like OCD for real. I hate that. I hate how it smells. I don't like it because it lingers. All right, so all I did was a vertical slice and I'm gonna do a horizontal slice. Very easy. So I'm just giving it a quick rough chop to make sure there's no strays. Because there's nothing worse than eating pico de gallo or salsa and then you bite into a huge slice of onion. It's just horrible. Okay. I just realized I forgot to grab a spoon. Hold on, you guys. Oh, and for anyone who's wondering, the sweet potatoes I have in the oven, I'm baking on 375. Sweet potatoes typically take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to bake. If you put them on 350, they're going to take even longer. What I do is I took my paring knife and made slices on all four sides of both of the sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes help to boost iron, just like red meat and broccoli. So that's why those were the ingredients that I chose for my meal tonight. And I know my body is not used to me eating beef, but I'm gonna have to start incorporating beef back into my diet because my iron's been too low. So essentially, like what I might do, I probably will end up making sort of like carne asada tacos, I guess. Now that I think about it, since I do have the pico, the salsa, and then they also gave me like some queso dip. And one of my housemates had like extra corn tortillas and flour tortillas. So I'll probably end up making like little like street tacos with this. But I'm still gonna eat the sweet potatoes and the broccoli and cauliflower. All right, so I'm gonna put the rest of the onion. Let me show you something too. See that little piece with the green in it? That means that's the part that contains the gas. So I'm going to discard that because I don't want that giving me acid reflux. The reason I use white onion is because it's sweet. A lot of times I will also use red onion, but sometimes red onion can be too strong. So that's why I opted for white onion for this one. And like I said, I like my salsa chunky. I hate like runny, watery salsa. I just personally don't like it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and slice the rest of this onion because this will be what I'll saute. And I like my onion pieces kind of large, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Hopefully you guys can see it. Because like I said, I can't see the screen with the camera pointed down. So these will be the sliced onions that I'll saute to kind of go on top of the steak, or if I decide to make light tacos, the next day. All right, so I've got these 2 limes. I've already washed them off and wiped them down. I'm gonna go ahead and slice these before I slice the cilantro. That way they're already good to go. And I also just realized I left my sea salt upstairs in my tote. So I'm gonna have to step away for a minute and go grab that. All right, so again, you take a wet paper towel to clean off your cilantro, and you wanna make sure it's fully clean. And I usually also inspect it like to see if there's any little garden bugs, which of course I don't see any. So I'm gonna take, I like to take the bunch and roll it. I used to joke and always say roll it like a blunt. Actually, let me move these over here. Okay. All right. I don't want to mince it. I just wanted to give it a good rough chop. And the reason that I leave stems is that's where you get the coriander flavor from the cilantro. So I used to go through the trouble, years ago of pulling the leaves from the stems, but the stems actually contain the antioxidants that are good for, your hair, skin, and nails and healthy digestion. So you want to leave the stems of the cilantro, plus it enhances the flavor. And like I said, you guys know I am extremely sanitary, so I'm always covering my food as I prep. Because Houston has bugs everywhere. There's always like little gnats and fruit flies and stuff, and I just don't want them flying into my food because I do got to run upstairs and go grab the kosher salt. Kosher salt and Himalayan salt are the healthiest salts to use. A little goes a long way. You don't have to use a ton of it. And the way that it flavors the food is really good. Plus, it helps it to flush through your system faster so that you don't like retain a lot of water weight. Hypertension, which is high blood pressure, comes from taking in too much sodium. So iodized salt, which I learned in culinary nutrition years ago, actually is very unhealthy. That's why it's so cheap, because your body has a hard time breaking it down. So when you find that you're retaining a lot of water weight, it's because your body doesn't have the opportunity to actually break down the salt in it. All right, so don't need a ton of cilantro, but that's definitely enough. Same with the little salsa that I'm making. All right, and that's pretty much it. Just got to squeeze some lime and then toss some kosher salt in there, and that's it. Some people like to season their pico de gallo. I don't. Now the salsa, I normally would add cumin to it and a little bit of onion powder, but I just realized I forgot to order those 2 ingredients. So we're gonna see how that salsa tastes, because I do like to add the cumin for the smokiness, but I completely forgot to order that. So I'm gonna just rock with it. And check the closet to see if maybe there's maybe. So I'm essentially just using one whole lime. I like a lot of lime in my pico and my salsa. And then the rest of the other 2 pieces of the lime, I'm gonna save to squeeze over the steak when it's done. It'll be a quick, simple meal tonight. Pretty much once the sweet potatoes are done, all I gotta do is do a quick steam on the frozen veggies, which will take all of like 2 minutes, if even that. And I like my steak mid rare, so I don't cook it for too long because medium can sometimes. I mean, I can do it either mid rare is medium rare or medium. Mid well and well done just ruins the steak. And again, I've working for Longhorn is where I really came into my expertise with steak. Really, you really do damage the steak when you make it well done, and it makes it very hard for your body to break it to actually break it down. That's why people who eat steak tend to have more digestive issues with constipation. My digestive issues are the complete opposite, um, where I have to like eat foods to stop myself from going. But most people I know that eat steak on a regular basis have issues with constipation because your body really can't break it down, especially when you're consistently eating it. And if you don't like drink enough water to actually break it down. Okay, I've got plenty of lime. Dad needs more lime. So I'm gonna just go ahead and, because I have a whole other lime, so it's not a big deal. I'll go ahead and squeeze the rest of this one. There it is. Okay. Now, if I was prepping this for other people, I don't double dip my spoon when I taste test it, but since this is just for me, it's not a big deal. So basically, I'm gonna save the rest of the cilantro to garnish the steak once it's done cooking. And then I'll have the pico and the salsa on the side with some tortilla. Okay, you guys, hold on just a second. I gotta run upstairs and grab my sea salt because that's the one thing I forgot to get out my choke. Give me a second. All right. 1 second. Okay, I am back. Oh, them stairs gonna help me get in shape. Okay, so I'm gonna actually check and just see if there's any cumin. because it doesn't taste the same without the cumin. I can't believe I forgot to order that, of all things. Okay, I don't see any. So I'll just eat it without it. It's not a huge deal, but it does alter the flavor because the cumin gives it that smokiness that I like in salsa, but I'll improvise. I told y'all I got OCD, so yeah, I got my sea salt in storage bags. Okay, like I said, a little goes a long way. You don't need a lot. Um, and the sea salt actually helps to preserve the flavor and the fresh, like the tomatoes, the lime. A little bit more. I just had an idea. I don't know how this is going to taste, but I'm going to try this. Because I got taco seasoning for the steak. I have never done this before, but I just want to see if it'll help. Because for me, the not having the cumin, it tastes different. It tastes like pico, and I don't want it to taste like pico. I want it to taste like soft food. Oh, it did help. Okay, that's what's up. Okay, I just learned something new on live. All right, so salsa's ready. I'm gonna stir the pico some more. Of course, I will spill it inside of my apron. Got fucking people that are all in my apron. Hold on, y'all. Clumsy Chef D. All right. I think it might need a touch more salt. Just a little bit. Yeah. I don't want to do too much. And I put my earpiece on. So when I move, the mouthpiece sometimes can get muffled. Since I got the overhead fan on or the stove, I didn't want to, I wanted you guys to be able to hear me basically. Because it's not like when I'm sitting in front of my laptop. Oh, perfect. What's good stuff? Okay. Oh, that tastes really good actually. I wish I had gotten some tortilla chips, but I do have some corn and flour tortilla. So more than likely I'll warm those on the stove top in the skillet. That's how my high school best friend is Mexican, and her mom are the ones that taught me how to make all this. Because my mom is black, she don't she know how to make all this stuff. Now I am going to go ahead and slice this lime. Like I said, that way when the steak is done, I can squeeze a lime over it. And I need to open this and see how this tastes. I've never had this before. I want to see. Because if it's good, then I can make like carne asada tacos and pour that over it. Normally, I would use queso fresco or cotica. And cotica is like Mexican feta cheese, basically. It's a dry, crumbly cheese that's really good. But right now, my budget is budgeting. So I had to go with food that was given to me. That is a chef trick, by the way. If you can't open a jar, use the backside of your knife, hit the top about 4 or 5 times, and it pops right off. Not bad. Okay. I might use that. I mean, it's jalapeno, so it's a little spicy, but it's not like super duper spicy. So pretty much the prep is done. Other than this, the sweet potatoes are roasted in the oven, baked in the oven. I don't want to make the steak too soon because I don't want it to be cold. So I guess what I could do, I could go ahead and saute the onion, the sliced onion that I'm gonna put on top of the steak. And this is more like not necessarily go on top of the steak, but just to kind of have like on the side. So if I want to make a taco, I like sauteed onions on any tacos that I make. And then if I decide like tomorrow or whatever, I want to make some like tacos or whatever, I put the onion on it. Now, traditionally, if you make street tacos, it's white onion, cilantro, and lime. That's all that goes on it. But I like toppings. I like pico de gallo. I like salsa, and typically, I'll take like the corn tortillas, slice them in eighths, and fry them up. But I don't have enough oil to fry it, and I'm really trying to stay away from fried foods because, like I told you guys, I'm a two-time thyroid cancer survivor, and fried foods can trigger cancer. And believe it or not, what I found out the first time I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer is that cancer lays dormant in all of us, and it really is what you eat that can trigger it, and or like high levels of stress and or high levels of trauma. Believe it or not. Okay, so I've got the lime sliced. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in this little ramekin. I love ramekins, by the way. So these will be good to go when the steaks are done. And I'm just gonna use I love Taco Bell seasoning. I'm just gonna use the Taco Bell seasoning to season it because again, a lot of my stuff is still at my storage, and I just realized today that my small little chote with all my different seasonings and my seasoning blends that I've made is at my storage. So I'm improvising, literally doing a chef on a budget type meal. You know, I'm working with what I got. Oh wait, there's balls down. Okay, so let's improvise. So I want to get this off of here so that when the steak comes out, I can slice it. Okay, let me do this. I'll just have to put the cilantro in here with the lime. Because, I mean, really, this is just for garnish anyway. I told y'all, I'm very serious about my sanitation. And Houston got little flying bugs everywhere. I had one of my errands I went to yesterday morning. I had to wait outside to, get into the building and stuff. And man, I got bit up so bad, all on my knees, my ankles and stuff. And then I don't know if it was a spider, but something bit me on the back of my thigh and it swelled up so huge. And then I felt like pus coming. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know what kind of bugs Houston has, but they are not like the bugs from back home where I'm from. They be getting your ass. Okay, I'm gonna rinse off this cutting board right quick. Because one thing I definitely also do is I clean as I go. That's something my mom taught us growing up with her catering business, and it has stayed with me my whole life. And I like to kind of just, and even in restaurants I've worked in, I do that, prepare for what I'm going to do next. So essentially, this will be set up for when the steaks are done. Let me see what time it is. So in about 8 minutes or so, I'm gonna check the potatoes. If they're close to done, then I'm gonna go ahead and start. You know what? I can actually go ahead and start cooking the steaks. I'll just do that. But first, what I do want to do is go ahead and saute the sliced onion. So I'm gonna do that over here on the stove. Give me 1 second, y'all. Does it work? Okay. And I kind of don't want to move this tripod because I had a hard time getting it to stay still. So yeah, I may pull the camera off of the tripod and show y'all what I'm doing. And I know some people don't like to use margarine, but Blue Bonnet was cheap, so I got it. Again, chef on a budget. Fun fact, Blue Bonnet was created in my hometown in Omaha, Nebraska. I didn't even know that for years, which explains why it was always at every single grocery store I grew up, that, my mom and them shopped at growing up. Yeah, and it won't take long to saute this. So I think I might warm some of those tortillas to eat some of this pico with because it tastes really good. And then I need to wash off and season the steak. Of course, I would accidentally drop those on the floor. Okay, I'm gonna try to pull the camera off and try to hold it while I saute the onion. And I'm not trying to be on camera because I have a whole bonnet on. Since I'm in the kitchen, I always keep my hair covered. If I do go live tonight, I'm not getting on camera tonight because I need to braid my hair back up and put my hair growth serum in it. But I will come on camera tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be the celebration. How do I flip the camera? Can I flip the camera? Hey y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. See, I'm not used to. I'm trying to figure out how to switch the camera. Hold on, y'all. Y'all bear with me. Okay. No, no, I wasn't trying to turn it off. I just want to switch it. Give me a second, y'all. There we go. Okay. Oh, damn it. I always end up. accidentally tossed one out of the pan. Hold on, yeah. And again, these will just be like for me to have with the steak, or like I said, if I decide that I want to make tacos like later or whatever. And normally I would add a little bit of seasoning to these, but I'm not. The other reason I wear bonnets is not just for food safety and so no hair gets in my food. I don't like the smell in my hair, especially with me wearing my afro. There's nothing worse than your hair smelling like fried onions. There's nothing sexy about that at all. So probably this is the same thing I'll do when I make the steaks. I'm gonna use this big old pot to cook them in, and of course I'm gonna put the veggies in that one. And I'm gonna use this same skillet to warm up the tortillas. Oh, I forgot. I need to put that back on do not disturb. So I don't want all the extra noises. Thinking that maybe the overhead fan is causing the burner. Because I want them to get a little bit of a char, but I don't want them to be like overcooked, you know. Yeah, these are about ready. I guess that's as high as that one goes. Okay, now that's perfect. Damn, I didn't think this through. Hold on. Because I'm like, I can't really hold it and put these in the little bowl. Y'all bear with me because I need both hands to scoop them into the bowl. And I always wipe the skillet out. Give me 1 second. I just got to use both hands for a hot second. Okay. Because in that way, when I go to warm up the tortillas, it doesn't have all the oniony residue. Okay. So now you can see perfectly sauteed onion. Those will be on the side. And now I've got to go through the trouble of trying to prop this back up here. So y'all bear with me. Let's move it back around. Okay, hopefully, wait, try to make sure the phone doesn't fall out of the holder. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So, perfectly sauteed white onion. And I'm gonna leave them uncovered because since they're still releasing the steam, I don't want them to get soggy. So actually what I'm gonna do is go ahead and set these on the stove so that the steam doesn't get to, the pico and the salsa. Oh, it's hot. Okay, well, I'll set them on the edge. All right, so next I'm gonna go ahead and start steaming the vegetables because I kind of just want everything already done. Because once I make the steak, um, well, actually, I guess I could do the vegetables after I make the steak because, yeah, the steak's gonna need to rest. So I'm gonna let the steak rest here for at least 5 minutes before I slice into it. So I think what I might do is go ahead and warm up some tortilla to eat with the salsa and the pico de gallo. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Then after that, I'll get started on the steak. And I think, let's see, do I want the, no, I want the corn because I'll do the flour for when I make like the little tacos. So I guess I am gonna make tacos today, since there's so many tortillas. My housemate was like, just use them because they're gonna go bad. I'm like, all right, cool. And I like the corn ones anyways. I do. So I don't want to go through the trouble of pulling that camera back down. I'm gonna let that warm up over there. And oh, that's good stuff. I feel like Dora. Yum 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 yum. Delicioso. And so then well, I'm gonna show you guys that. I wanted to show you like basically with steak, you want to rub the seasoning into it. But because I don't want to cross contaminate my station, which let me explain what cross contamination is. This is a white cutting board. In restaurants, hold on. Am I back in the studio? Okay. In restaurants, this is called a ready to eat cutting board. So, ready to eat means anything that's not raw. So, it can be vegetable, a salad, a dessert, an appetizer. If it's already cooked or pre cooked, or if it's one you just pull out the freezer and thaw out, you can prep that on a white cutting board. The green cutting boards are specifically to prep produce only or fruits like fruits and veggies. A brown cutting board is to prep raw pork. A red cutting board is to prep raw beef. And a yellow cutting board is to prep raw poultry. So that's anything from chicken, turkey, quail, duck, any sort of poultry. And then the blue cutting board, the light blue cutting board, is to prep seafood. So the steak that I am going to prep, if I had my color coded cutting boards, I would move this out the way and put the red cutting board down, and I would remove all of this ready to eat food away. That way, if some of the blood from the steak were to splash onto the counter, it doesn't cross contaminate. So like if you cross contamination just means that blood contains bacteria and parasites, especially when it's raw. If some of that blood were to drip, let's say, into this bowl, you'd have to throw this whole thing out because it would be contaminated at that point. So I'm just explaining to you the culinary terms so that when I speak about these things, you guys understand what I mean. Plus, this is also actually what I taught in all the restaurants I worked in as a certified culinary trainer. You'd be surprised the amount of culinary students who I've trained that I watched do that shit. Like this one girl, and she was good, but she was just nasty. We had our prep list for Longhorn, and she was prepping the fresh trout on one of these cutting boards after prepping the corn salsa, because like we had our list for the rainbow trout. There's like a corn salsa that we had a recipe we had to prep every morning for the line. And then she started putting the raw trout. I was like, so now you have to throw all that shit you just prepped away because it's contaminated. Like you're supposed to pull out the blue cutting board and put the trout on that cutting board at a different station, and then prep the corn salsa on the white cutting board at this station. And she had got so mad because she's like, well, I've already prepped all of my lists. I said, yes, and you contaminated every fucking part of it. So now you got to start over. That's how I do in my kitchens. I don't play that shit. I don't play that being lazy, don't want to start over, because ain't nobody finna get no foodborne illness on my watch. Not during my shift. Like, I was like, hell no. Nah. And so, some people have loved my sanitary ways, and some people have hated it. But one thing you're not going to do in my kitchen is make somebody sick because you're being lazy. Okay, so this is the one of the tortillas, and the other one's in the skillet right now. And as y'all see, it's just a perfect little, warm up of it. Technically, I guess you could call it a tostada if you wanted to. Since I don't have chips, this is how I improvise. Make like little grilled tostadas. And I would do the whole coming on camera and eating, but I'm tired and I know I just don't feel like being on camera in this bonnet. Oh, that's good shit. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's gonna be really good. I am pleasantly surprised at how that salsa turned out with that little bit of Taco Bell seasoning. Mm. Yeah, this came out good as a motherfucker. Oh my god, that's so good. Matter of fact, that's also what I can do. I can start getting stuff in containers. I ordered these on Amazon last year because these are the same ones we use in restaurants for all of our prep, and they last a long time. This is a 16-ounce container. So yeah, that one little can of tomatoes and that little piece of onion I threw in here, little piece of cilantro, little squeeze of lime, made a 16-ounce container of fresh salsa. So again, chef on a budget. This probably cost less than $1. Actually, it did. Yeah, all together. So now I've got a whole container of salsa from just that one can of tomatoes. And now the pico de gallo, I think it's going to be a little bit more than 16 ounces, but we'll see. If it is, I'll just leave some off in a bowl. I just realized this bowl is very heavy. Yeah, I figured it was going to yield more than 16 ounces. And all this is just 3 Roma tomatoes, and each one of the tomatoes were 33 cents. So again, keep telling y'all, chef on the budget, eat your way healthy is my specialty. It does not have to cost a lot of money to cook like a chef and to be healthy. And every one of these ingredients have antioxidants in them. The tomatoes do, especially the cilantro and the lime. And the lime has healthy citric acid that promotes healthy digestion, and it also lowers blood pressure by reducing your sodium content, helps you pee off water weight, just like the cucumber chips I showed y'all before. And the next time I do my segment, I'll show you guys how to prep those because most of those videos were on my Instagram. All right, so we got a 16-ounce container of pico de gallo. We got a 16-ounce container of fresh salsa. This time I'm gonna put the pico on this tortilla, or essentially it's kind of like a tostada. And then next I'm gonna do the steak and let it rest. And by the time the steak is done, the potatoes should be about ready. And then I'll do the steamed vegetables because I don't like my vegetables mushy. There is nothing worse than mushy, overcooked vegetables. One, they don't taste good. Two, you've cooked all the nutrients out of them. Literally, all the nutrients come out when you overcook vegetables. So see that beautiful corn tostada? Mm-mm-mm. Good shit right there. Mm, that's so good. If that tripod wouldn't fall over, I would adjust the camera so y'all could see me eating it, but I don't feel like messing with it because trying to get it set up was a headache. Okay. Mm. All right. So we got fresh cilantro garnish, fresh lime that'll go on the steak. We got 16 ounces of pico de gallo, less than $1. 16 ounces of salsa, less than $1. Sauteed onions, about 30 cents, because that whole onion was like $1. Really, that's probably like a quarter, because that's not even a third of the onion. All right. I just realized I got that a little greasy. So now my fresh prep is done. I'm going to clean off the steak and get it seasoned. And yeah, even the lighting by the sink is really low. So y'all just bear with me because it's not gonna take me long to oh, you know what? Let me think how I'm gonna do this. Because yeah, there's not gonna be room on that stove. Hold on. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start the veggies first. And then when the steak comes out, I'm gonna show you guys the proper way to take the internal temperature of steak. That is vital. With any protein you cook, bake, pan sear, you always want to take an actual thermometer and take the internal temperature of the steak. And with beef steak, it depends on the degree of doneness that you want it. Like if you want it to be, because some people do like their steak rare. If you want your steak rare, it needs to cook to an internal temperature of between 135 and 145 degrees Fahrenheit. If you want it medium, 150, mid well, 155. If you want it well done, it needs to cook to 165. Now, when it comes to like chicken, ham, turkey, those always have to cook to 165 degrees internal. So I'll show you guys how to do that too. All right, so bear with me. I'm just tossing. Oh, I got to show you all the ingredients. So this is just HEB brand frozen broccoli and cauliflower. This whole pack costs like $1 and some change. So again, my chef on a budget, eat your way healthy. I like to show you the ingredients and how much they cost so you can see how inexpensive it is to eat healthy. And I'm gonna just cook the whole bag. That way, if I want to eat leftovers like tomorrow or whatever, it's already cooked. Especially because I am sharing space with other people. I don't want to like have to keep coming and hogging up the kitchen. So I'm gonna let those steam. I'm gonna add just a touch of water to them again because I don't like my veggies to be soggy. I mean, they're already frozen, so frozen vegetables I only get if I can't go to the store myself and actually pick out the produce because they're not exactly the healthiest to be real with you. Um, but they are cheap, you know. So like I said, right now I'm on a budget, so hey, I got what was cheap. So those are on the stove steaming. They'll take about 2 minutes, if even that. This is going to be for the sweet potatoes when they come out. As a matter of fact, I need to check on those real quick. Give me 1 second. Because with sweet potatoes, you want to make sure that you turn them. Yeah, these are going to probably need, yeah, those are going to need at least another 30. So actually, I'm going to increase the temperature to 400. Because that's how we did in the restaurants. We would bake them on 375 about 30, 35, 45 minutes. And then when it was time getting closer to time to serve, we'd increase the temperature to about 400. It helps them to speed up the cooking process, but also doesn't burn them. If you start them out on 400, you're going to scorch the exterior and the inside still won't be done. Now, one thing I will give the shopper, he did a good job picking out the sweet potatoes because they're huge. They're like this big. Um, when I went to HEB last week, they had these tiny little yams that were like $1 and some change each, and they were moldy. And I'm like, are y'all serious right now? Anybody gonna be paying almost $2 for a tiny little piece of yam and it's going bad? Like, no. Yeah, I should have got the nitro gloves because these are a little harder to get on and off. And then date labels. This is something I absolutely use in my kitchens at home, not just in the restaurants. Now, we use these in the restaurants, but I actually use these myself every time I cook or prep food. That way, you know the shelf life of the food that you're cooking and prepping. Ready to eat foods have a shelf life up to 5 days. So, literally, every single restaurant I've cooked in, I have done this and I have trained my trainees. Always date label your food, especially in restaurants, because you have the big walk-in refrigerator, and if you don't know what day that food was prepped, then you don't know what day that food's going to expire, and you could again unintentionally serve somebody some food that's technically expired. Now, because this is salsa and pico de gallo and it has lime, the lime does help to preserve it. Salsa can last literally like up to 2 weeks, but I eat it so fast, it won't last that long. All right, so I got the date labels on those. I'm probably going to end up putting the onion in here, so I'm going to go ahead and date label this one too. Or actually, I'll save this for the lime, but I can still date label it because yeah, I just thought about it. I'm probably not going to use oil, but I've got baggies for the lime. Never mind. Y'all just witnessed one of my very much so overthinking moments as a Scorpio. Okay, here's the 26. Yeah, I'm professional at home, not just at restaurants. And unfortunately, I know a lot of chefs that are like that, where they're only professional and sanitary when they're at work and then when they go home. And I've seen some chefs do some nasty shit in their kitchens at home, and I'm like, no, thank you. One of um one of the chicks I used to talk to, matter of fact, we worked together at PF. She would let her cats jump all on the counter and the stove while she was cooking. I didn't eat her food ever again after that. I was like, bruh, that is so damn nasty. Cause cats step in litter. They literally walk in their own shit, and they've got pet hair everywhere. It was disgusting. Like anybody who I've dealt with that had pets knew that their pets were not allowed in the kitchen when I was cooking. They knew off the rip. I don't allow that. Okay, these veggies are almost done already. I'm gonna give them like another minute or two. I like my veggies al dente. I don't like them mushy. I don't add butter. I don't add seasoning. When you do that, you take all the nutrition out of the vegetable. I cannot stand when I see people do that. Now, if you want to add like Italian seasoning or a little bit of onion powder or garlic powder, but if you add seasoning salt, you are killing all the nutrients. Please do not add seasoning salt to your vegetables. And I know black people in our culture, we're used to doing that. I know my mom did. She would take a whole stick of butter and Lawry's seasoning salt and Lawry's garlic salt. I used to hate that as a kid because it just tasted so salty. And then you don't actually get to enjoy the nutrients from the vegetable that your body needs to absorb. Since my body needs to absorb iron, I want to make sure I get the iron from the sweet potatoes and from the beef and from the broccoli. So the only thing I'm seasoning tonight is the beef. Did he forget my iron pills? Oh, I'm about to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those. My iron levels have been really low. My iron is low. Let me see. Okay, take one now. Since I know I'm gonna be eating soon. Wait, okay. I love me some water. So is this the freezer part? I can't quite figure out. I guess that's the freezer part. It's not really freezing. Yeah. All right. So the veggies are about done. I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do next is get the steak seasoned. So typically I make a seasoning blend for something like this. If I had my container of seasonings with me, I like to use Tony Chachery as like the base because it's that's the only seasoning that I'll purchase that has any sodium content. I use powders for everything. I use garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, um, paprika. What else would I add? I really love the McCormick's Montreal chicken seasoning. It's really, really good and it's versatile. And then I would add a little bit of chili powder. And then, of course, if I didn't have Tony Chachery, then I would add the kosher salt. So yeah, kosher salt is the only salt we've ever used in any restaurant I've worked in, because it's the healthy salt. And another thing, um, since y'all know I am a spiritualist, start adding kosher salt to your showers and your baths. The reason for that is it clears your aura of negative energy that may have latched onto you through other people. And it aids in helping you manifest things that you want to call in. Like when I take my showers, I literally pray. That's my prayer time. And I do what's called my water manifestations. And part of my shower routine is I will take the salt and rub it in my hands, because rubbing your hands creates kinetic energy, and then rub it on my body to cleanse my aura of anyone else's negative energy that may have latched onto me, or anyone that may try to attempt to send negative energy towards me. And then it also helps, like I said, in you calling in your manifestations. So I always use like storage bags or freezer bags to make my seasoning blends. But again, like I said, there's some that I forgot to order. So I'm just working with the sea salt and the taco seasoning tonight. And it's still going to be fine. It needs, well, wait, does it need salt or no? No, that's good. It doesn't. So this is what I'll use to coat the steak. Of course, I would spill it on my boots. Um, and I'm actually getting ready to pull the steak out here and start washing that off. And again, I do not use tap water. So when I clean my steaks, and really any of my meats, like I'm gonna pour some the water from the refrigerator, the filtered water in here. That's what I'll use to clean the steak off. Tap water is very much so contaminated, especially in Houston. If anyone's ever been to Galveston Beach, the water in the ocean is brown. So I mean that should tell you something. Nothing like the ocean water when I was in Florida. All right, veggies are done. I pull them off the stove so that they don't cook. They don't continue to cook. All for these. Okay, this one's cool. I don't even think those are gonna fit in there. Hold on. Oh, oh, stuff falling over. Okay, let me see. I saw a bowl in here earlier. Okay, that's all right. Wipe that out. I ain't gonna lie, I forgot about the veggies. I did. Hold on. What did I do with that spoon that I just had? There it is. Oh, they're perfect though. Oh yeah, they're perfect. those came out. Those came out really good. I grabbed them in the nick of time. They definitely would have overcooked. And all I'm doing right now, y'all, is moving stuff to one side of the sink so I can rinse off the steaks. Set that pot over there. I'm gonna let those kind of cool off. That so that doesn't get dirty. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the steaks seasoned. Then I'm gonna turn the skillet on the stove on, and I'll pull the camera down to show y'all how I'm cooking the steak. Oh, good deal. I'm glad I'm glad that I stored the steak in the freezer bag because I like to season my steaks inside a freezer bag so that it evenly coats all sides of it. So y'all give me a second. Like I said, it's a hassle um, trying to move that tripod. So I'm gonna just leave it where it's at. Definitely calling that in. Like I said, I believe in calling things in that I want. I want new equipment because I think because I've had to move so much. That tripod just is. It's very flimsy now. It definitely wasn't like that when I first got it. But then again, I have had it since last year, so it's probably just time to order a new one. They definitely vacuum sealed this sirloin. Oh wow, sorry to get this out. So this is a tenderloin fillet, and the other one is Angus top. What is this? Angus, Angus top sirloin steak. Okay. Hold on, y'all. This is really hard to get out the package, and I don't want to destroy the meat itself. Good Lord. They vacuum seal the hell out of this. All right. Let me switch my gloves. I'm going to go ahead and rinse these two off. There's my tongs. Okay. Let's see how we can improvise. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm gonna take the season. You know what? I'm gonna put both cuts of steak in there. I'm gonna put them in the same bag. That'll be easier. Yeah, that'll be easier. Because I realized my other little storage bag is kind of too small to be trying to shake that sirloin fillet in it. Okay, y'all give me a second. All right, I want to show you the way that I'm seasoning it without um, without contaminating the food that's already over there. So give me 1 second here. Okay. Yeah, I may grab the camera and pull it down. Actually, I won't. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and get the pan going, getting it hot, and then I'll pull the camera down and show you guys uh, the stove top because that'll be easier. Give me 1 second. And I need to wash my hands right quick. Because yeah, the downside to those vinyl gloves is that they don't create a complete barrier. And I felt a little bit of that raw steak. And again, I told y'all sanitation is my thing. So I don't want any parts of the juices from the raw meat remaining under my nails. Somebody had asked me why I stopped wearing acrylic nails. One, because I had to move so much, but in kitchens, you can't wear acrylic nails or nail polish. It's actually against sanitation. And the reason being is because the nails or the polish can fall off of your hands and into the food. So, me working as a chef for so many years, I had just honestly gotten used to not wearing nails. And then for a while, I was doing it. But when I had to start moving and stuff, you know, after the hurricane, it was pointless because they kept popping off. Like every time I'm having to pack stuff or go to my storage or, list stuff. So I just rock with my natural nails now. Okay. So I'm going to get the skillet started. And it won't take long to cook the steaks because, again, I like mine medium rare to medium. And since one of the cuts of steak is a tenderloin, that I want that one juicy. I want to explain something else to y'all because I know how our culture is. I know how I was before I worked at the steakhouse. When you see red juices coming from a steak, it is not blood. I literally learned that in culinary school. It's actually the broth that the steak produces, just like when chicken produces broth. And I know it's hard for people to believe that, but it is. And black folks are like, I don't want no bloody steak. It's not blood. It's just broth that the steak produces. So I'm getting this cutting board ready because when they're at the degree of doneness that I want them, I'm gonna set them on the cutting board and show you guys how to take the internal temperature with the thermometer. All right, give me 1 second. I do want to put a little bit of, since I don't have the cooking spray, I'm gonna use just a touch of this margarine, just a touch. It's like crazy the things as a chef that you realize are very important that you're used to just having on hand until you don't have them on hand. Because I use my cooking spray for everything. Hold on. I also realize I don't think there's any pot holders in here. the towel is. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the steaks in the skillet, and then I'll pull the camera down to show you guys. I'm gonna wash my hands again. Where's this for already? Just to set up the other day. It's so weird making steaks without actual tongs to turn the steaks. I've never, as many years as I've worked in kitchens, I've honestly never done that. So I'm gonna have to work with wooden spatulas and do the best I can. People be like, why you be carrying all that stuff with you? Because I'm a chef. I know what I need to cook. That's why I be carrying two totes with me, because I got cooking stuff, I got hygiene stuff, I got towels, my clothes. Like, I like having my own stuff. It smells really good. All right, let me try to pull the camera down so I can show y'all the stove top. Oh shit, forgot I wiped off those. Okay, let me thank y'all for tuning in. She said your wrist rock at some point. Traveling God, looking good. Thank y'all. I don't look good, look rough, okay? But this is me in chef mode, so it's not cute mode, it's chef mode. I'll be back in cute mode tomorrow. All right, so there you can see the tenderloin and then the top, what is it, top round or whatever it's called. And again, I like mine medium rare. So I'm actually about to pull these out in just like a second. Now I will take the internal temperature, but the density check lets me know how close it is to the degree of doneness that I want it. Because I do not like overcooked steak. I do not. Yeah, that one's gonna be ready to pull in like 30 seconds. And let me go back. I don't feel that I look rough. I'm just in the house mode. And I'm not one of them people that likes to be in bonnets in public. But I want to keep my hair protected. I want to make sure that none of it falls into any of the food, and I don't want it to smell like the food I'm cooking. Yeah, this one's about to be ready to pull already. The tenderloin, since it is thicker, I'm gonna let it go a little bit more. But you can see how along the edges it's still kind of reddish pink. Technically for mid rare, that would be ready to pull. But because it is so thick, I want it to I want the tenderloin to cook to medium, but I want the filet to cook to mid rare. Yeah, I'm about to pull that because I don't want it to be overcooked. I am. I'm gonna pull that out. Hold on. Damn, I keep forgetting I can't hold this stuff. Hold this camera. Hold on, y'all. And like I said, you want to let it rest before you cut it and see how it has just a touch of pink. That means it's going to come out a good medium temperature. I was thinking about someone I recently spent time with, and he's like, the first thing I want you to cook me is steak and shrimp. And I was like, how do you like your steak? He was like, I don't know, juicy. And I guarantee you, if I make his steak medium or medium rare, and he sees them juices, like most black folks, he's gonna be tripping. But one thing I will say, as a chef working for Longhorn, in all the years I worked for Longhorn Steakhouse as a certified culinary trainer, none of my steaks ever came back to the kitchen, ever. Literally, never ever. And kitchens are very male dominant. A lot of them didn't like that my steaks came out better than theirs. All right, so both of these are done. We'll go ahead and let them rest on the cutting board. And this is just excess seasoning. So yeah, I'm gonna let those rest before I cut into them. And I gotta prop this camera back up. Hold on. So it's okay, 8:03. I'm gonna let those rest at least until about 8:05, 8:06. I want to give them at least a good 2 to 3 minutes. And that's what you always want to do. Like I said, you never want to slice your meat immediately when it comes out. That way it retains the juices and it locks in the moisture. Hold on, yeah. Let me turn it back around. It's very different doing this on my phone. Okay. Let me see. Can I bring this down a little bit? Yeah, there we go. That way you guys can get a closer look at the steak once I do go to cut it. So I'm gonna do a little pre-clean. As I told y'all, I clean as I go. And hey, how you doing? Good, how are you? My bad. I'm almost done. I'm recording. Okay. Yeah, eventually I'll be able to cook for everybody because I am what I love to do. I'm recording on my YouTube channel right now. So yeah, I do. This is my chef on the budget, eat your way healthy segment. So I prep viewers. Y'all bear with me. I'm talking to one of my good housemates. Uh, I made pico de gallo, salsa, sauteed some onions, steamed veggies. I got sweet potatoes in the oven, and then I'm gonna plate everything and make it look pretty, and then eat. So yeah. Once again, when I have a little bit more, I will actually cook for all of y'all because I love to cook. That's my thing to do. Thank you. All right, y'all. So I told y'all I clean as I go, so I'm going to just get a little bit of. Ow, Jesus, that's hot. Okay, I'm glad the camera wasn't on that because I damn near burnt my finger. Because I'm not used to this equipment, and that big skillet I was just using, I went to go pick it up, and the handles were still hot. So lesson learned there. Don't pick that up like so soon. But yeah, I like to pre-clean. And just as a chef, it is something that I've done in restaurants. Because there's nothing worse than you sit down and enjoy your food and you got to get up and clean the whole kitchen full of dishes. So I clean as I go. So I want to kind of get a close up. Hold on. I'm gonna pull the camera off the tripod. Hold on. Because I want y'all to see the juices. So remember I told you the longer you let the meat rest, the more it locks in the juices. So you can actually see the broth that the beef produced because I didn't cut into it immediately. And the same thing with the beef tenderloin. So it's now 8:06. What I want to do, I want to let it rest a couple more minutes. So I'm gonna put the camera back on the tripod. I'm gonna clean the few pans that I just used, get those out the way. because once those sweet potatoes are done, I'm gonna actually plate, and then I'll show you guys the plating, and then I'm gonna jump off and eat because I'm hungry. So hold on, y'all. Okay, let me get this back up here. Yeah, I love to cook for people, so I can't wait till I have the opportunity to get a little bit more food and then can cook for everybody again. The lady that was just here, she's a sweetheart. Her kids are adorable. So I would love to cook for them actually. Okay, so y'all just bear with me. If you hear the noise in the background, I'm just cleaning the dishes that I just used. Like I said, those need to set for another couple of minutes anyway to make sure that the moisture stays locked into the meat. And then I'll go ahead and slice the meat and I'll show you how medium steak looks on the inside. Again, just because it's pink does not mean it's not done. It's actually thoroughly cooked. And I'll show you guys how I'm gonna take the internal temperature with the thermometer. Um, the thermometer needs to be at 32 degrees. That's why you have to stick it in the freezer so that you can take an accurate, get an accurate internal temperature. And this is something I've taught as a certified culinary trainer at every single restaurant I've worked at. So never cook by sight. Actually use a thermometer. Make sure that your meat temps out. Otherwise, that's how foodborne illnesses are born, you guys, from meat being undercooked and or it being improperly prepped. So yeah, those in Houston, if you've eaten at the Woodlands Longhorn, I literally opened the restaurant and set up the kitchen. And then I put together the training committee to help me get the physical kitchen set up. When we got our truck in before our soft opening, we had to hand sand down the plates and the bowls. Like when I tell you I opened restaurants, I legit have done that for years. And it's fun, but it's a lot of work. And most times when you hire new hires and trainees, they don't stick. Like the training crew I put together when we first opened, I think we had about 26 chefs. When I left that steakhouse, it was like 8 of them that remained because a lot of people can't handle. There's a difference between working in a restaurant and working in a steakhouse. The volume that we do it's a lot of guests, so a lot of people can't handle the pressure. You know, when we're in the middle of a rush and we got all these orders we got to get put out, they get overwhelmed. I remember one Friday night, half our kitchen staff walked out because we had so many orders, like literally in the middle of the rush. And I had to jump on the line, and the kitchen manager had to jump on the line, and we had to just rock it out. So yeah, working in restaurants is not for the weak. It is not for the weak. It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding because you know being able to touch people through your food is exactly why I love to cook. Okay, yeah, I'm almost done. Like I said, I'm so sanitary and OCD. It is, I won't say ridiculous. It's actually a good thing, but I can't help it. I really can't. Like I do not like filth. And when I get done eating, all I want to clean is the plate that I use. And hell, if I had thought about bringing my paper plates down here that I bought, I would have put it on paper plates. When I'm done eating, I don't want to be cleaning up a whole bunch of dishes. I just want to eat and chill. For real, for real. So yeah, probably I'm not gonna do the live tonight. I might, but I do gotta get up. I have an appointment tomorrow. So I'll probably do the celebrating the 5K subscribers tomorrow after my appointment. And again, shout out to the new subscribers. I saw that just since last night, I think it's like 100 more. So I really appreciate y'all for tuning in and, you know, coming back, and shout out to my return viewers, the ones that were in the comments earlier this morning. I really appreciate y'all. Shout out to Joy and Sneakers. Like I said, y'all go under my community wall and scroll down. It's a few posts down where I promoted her YouTube channel. As I said, I promote my DVDs. I support those who support me. So if any of the rest of you have YouTube channels, if you have businesses or brands, or you want your social media promoted, let me know, because as y'all can see, my channel is growing. And it was definitely a goal of mine to get to 5,000 viewers, and we're almost at 6,000, which is amazing. So I really do appreciate y'all. Okay, give me a second, y'all. I'm almost done. Almost done. Yeah, all the years I've worked in kitchens, normally my hair is braided up, which I'm gonna braid it later tonight so it can moisturize, and then I'll take my afro out tomorrow and cut it like because I see that y'all enjoyed me being on camera last night. I'm like, dang, I guess I need to come on camera more often. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna heat up some more of the tortillas. I'm gonna do that because I know that those potatoes aren't quite done, but they're almost done. So I can do that before I cut into beans. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let me show y'all how to take the internal temperature using the thermometer. Okay. So again, I told you your thermometer needs to be at 32 degrees. And you want to take, and this is a very old school actual manual thermometer. They have digital ones now, but I'm old school. All right, so you want to stick the thermometer into the fattiest part of the meat. And you're going to see that it's going to go up in temperature. And technically, I should have done this when they first came out, technically, but I forgot, honestly, until just now. So, yeah, because they're actually starting to get a touch cold a little bit. So essentially, that's how you actually take the temperature. I'll do it again the next time I make like steak or chicken because I was so worried about cleaning the dishes. I forgot to do that right when they come out because that is what you're supposed to do. Now, you don't have to cut it right when it comes out, but you are supposed to take the temperature immediately from the time that it comes off of the grill. Let me grab my serrated knife. For those that don't know what a serrated knife is, I'm about to show you. So to carve any sort of meat, you want to always use a serrated knife, hence the bumps along the knife. And you can slice it whatever way you want. I try to go with the grooves of the protein. So actually, bring it that way. Hold on. I'm being a perfectionist right now, though. Okay, that's the marbling of the steak. But see how it's still slightly pink? That's how you get a good medium rare steak. And I knew when to pull it off, you know. And I'm just doing like a water cut, which is a diagonal cut. That also helps it to maintain its moisture. Now I'm gonna keep it a stack. This protein was donated to me, so I hope it's good because it's looking a little questionable. It is looking a little questionable. And one thing about me, if it looks questionable, I'm not gonna eat it because I already got enough digestive challenges as it is, and my body's not used to eating beef anymore. But I really need to get my iron levels up. So yeah, there's a lot of marbling on this one. I don't know about this thing. I don't know if I'm gonna eat this. Let me see. I don't know about this one. I'm not liking the color of it. So yeah, I may not eat this at all. I might have to toss that out. I don't. Yeah, that might actually be expired. That's why I'm like, I don't know about that one. This one came out perfectly mid-rare. And again, what you're seeing is the broth.
from the beef. Now this one actually tastes okay. So yeah, mid-rare steak is always going to come out with the deeper part of the red in the middle and the outer part pinkish, and then of course the very top is going to be brown. I want it to get a little bit more of a char, so I'm going to toss this in the oven real quick to finish off the char that I want. But yeah, like mid-rare steak always comes out
this color.
This one I do believe is expired because some parts of the steak is looking gray. So I'm not even
gonna mess with that.
I'm not gonna mess with it.
So what I'm gonna do is stick it on some parchment paper. I'm gonna toss it in the oven. Because these will be the parts that I'll use to make like the little tacos that I'm gonna make. That's going in the trash. Oh, the potatoes are about done. Okay, good.
Okay.
Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. I think these are done. I'm just gonna double check them. Yeah, these are good. These are good. Perfect. All right. Pull those out. Second. And I know what some people are saying, like, I get it, but again, after you work at a steakhouse, and I'm not gonna lie, but when I first started working there, I did not want to eat any steak that was pink or red. And my trainer one day was like, "Just close your eyes." I was like, He was like, "Just close your eyes." And he put that piece of steak in my mouth, and it was so tender and it was so juicy. And then when I opened my eyes, I saw that it was a medium rare steak. And I freaked out. I was like, "This isn't cooked." And he was like, "Yes, it is." And then he broke down, the temperatures. And yeah, it's a mental thing. I know that a lot of us Black folks go through, but it is actually cooked all the way through, y'all. It really is. It just depends on to what degree of doneness that you want it cooked. And yeah, if you ever cook a protein and you're questioning if it's expired, don't even risk it. Just throw it away. I'm telling you, your gut will thank you. Like straight up. So yeah, to me, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. Because I know my body is already going to have a certain reaction anyway because it's not used to eating beef. But I'm definitely not eating beef that's questionable. It can go right in the trash. I normally only eat chicken and turkey, but those proteins are not getting my iron levels high enough. So I got to start incorporating some red meats. All right, so I guess technically I could start plating, but first I want to warm up some of the tortillas. And with the queso, I don't think I'm going to use the queso tonight because I don't want to do too much on my stomach. Like I said, it's already not used to me eating beef. I'm going to save the queso for maybe tomorrow to make some more tacos. Plate. I make sure y'all can see this. Wait, move it up one. This one. There we go. Okay.
And then when that steak comes out, I'll put it on the cutting board there.
I need to put that in the baggie.
Since I do got a little bit of the
No seasoning left.
pepper. And I'm mad about this.
Street taco tortillas. Look at this shit, y'all. Like, why would you give me this? Why? Why?
I can't even use it. There's some people destroy it. So
I'm really glad that one of my housemates had extra tortillas. He was like, just use them. Cause I was like, bro, I can't do nothing with them. They're always already falling apart. Can't do nothing with that. So I'm for these, I'm gonna go ahead and use the flour tortillas. Let's make sure I'm straight. What's the date on these? Oh, I don't know about that.
I may not use these.
Yeah, they smell a little bit sour. Yeah, I'm not gonna use these. So today's the 26th, so these are about 20 days old. I'll leave those, but I can definitely use the corn ones. Because really, corn tortillas never really expire, to be honest. And I like to use 2 at a time because corn tortillas tend to break apart very easily. So I'm just gonna warm them in the skillet like I showed y'all before, but I'm not gonna like completely cook them all the way through. Oh, and I forgot to show y'all the sweet potatoes. So they came out pretty good. I'll show you once I. Let me get a one. This is really how we do them in the restaurants. I did this every single day when I was plating for the potatoes at Longhorn. And normally I would put a dust of cinnamon and sugar, but I don't have any, so I'm gonna just go with the butter and call it a night. Because sweet potatoes are just that, they're sweet. You really kind of don't need the butter and sugar, but that's something I picked up on from working at Longhorn. That was actually one of our prep items was the cinnamon sugar dust. And we would sprinkle a little bit of it over the potato, to add a little extra flavor. I'm gonna save that potato for later. I'll go ahead and get the veggies on the plate. Broccoli and cauliflower. And again, since I need to get my iron up, I'm trying to get more of the broccoli than the cauliflower. Because that's where I'm going to get my increase of iron. Make sure y'all can see the plate. Okay. Let me go ahead and start. Yes. Trying to make it like a well, but it's a really big potato. Oh, I forgot about the meat. Oh shit. I forgot about the meat in the oven. Oh, I overcooked it. Well, it's definitely medium well now. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I didn't mean to cook it that long. I just wanted it to get like a little more of a char, and I ended up leaving it in there way too long. It's fine though. Mm, mm, mm. But it's still so tender. Oh my God. Yeah, that beef tenderloin is where it's at. That's a really good taco. It's almost like carne asada, but without charring the carne. And for those that know, carne is beef in Spanish. Y'all know my last name. You know it's in Spanish. Well, y'all might not have known that. A lot of people know my last name is Rodriguez. So, right, one tortilla down. So, my last name comes from my dad's side of the family, my grandpa. But I grew up in a black household. Both my parents consider themselves to be black. I learned how to make Spanish food from my high school friends that are Mexican. Their moms are the ones that actually taught me how to make the pico de gallo and the salsa from scratch and guacamole and all of that stuff. Okay, I need them tortillas to come on because I'm hungry, especially now that I didn't taste that sirloin. It's so good. Let me show y'all right quick. So I stuck it in the oven. I wanted to get a little bit more of a char, and it's still some parts of it is still like medium. So the medium is where it's predominantly brown, but has a little bit of the pink. But it's so tender. Like I just put a piece in my mouth. It's not tough at all. So I actually caught it in time. And this will make really good tacos. So I'll probably slice this like into strips. Actually, I will do that. I'm gonna slice it into strips that way when I go to eat it with the tortillas. Um, I don't have to be biting a big chunk of meat, essentially. I need a little bit more room. Put that in there. Go over here. Okay, that one I cooked a little, kind of overcooked that one. Dang it, I just cut through the accidentally cut through the glove. Okay, I think I'm gonna just do those four. Well, no, I can heat up the other two because I can eat those with the salsa. Now that I just remembered, I don't have any tortilla chips. And see, this is what I love that it's so tender that it's so easy to slice it into the strips. But yeah, I definitely didn't mean to leave it in the oven that long because I wanted the meat to stay, like mid rare. But some of it could kind of overcooked a little bit. All right, once this one's done, then I'll finish plating. And then I'm gonna jump off so I can actually eat. And actually, I want to put this back in with I want this to stay in its juices in the pan over there. It's so tender, you guys. I wish there was like a taste test button on social media. I want everybody to taste this, but I don't have enough to do it. So got that tortilla. I'm gonna go ahead and let these cook. That way I can turn the stove top off. So I'm gonna go ahead and plate these. All right, so I'm gonna take the pieces that are more like the mid rare. Oh shit! Please get him. Please get him. Please. Thank you. I didn't. I didn't know the dog was. It scared me for a second. Okay. Hold on. All right. So a little bit more meat. All right. And then I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of the sauteed onions first. And then next I'm gonna do a little squeeze of lime. Now, if they were just regular street tacos, this would be pretty much all I would put. It's just the onion, lime, and cilantro. But like I said, I like the pico de gallo on mine. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the pico. All right. Oh wait, that's a sauteed onion. Then I'm gonna garnish it with a little bit of cilantro. And that's it. This is dinner. Brought to you by another Chef on a Budget Eat Your Way Healthy segment by Chef D. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Because y'all, I'm about to get up off this so I can eat because I'm hungry. I'm gonna pull the camera down here in just a second so y'all can get a close up. The butter and already melted on into the sweet potato. Hold on. Okay, let me get to the camera settings so I can switch it. There we go. All right, so now you can get a close up of, I guess I could call them carne asada tacos. Oh, that would be a good picture. My finger not being there. Then of course the steamed veggies, the sweet potato. Like I said, the butter already melted. So let me see if I can capture another screenshot. Hold on. Oh, it would turn the whole screen on. That's one thing I hate about my phone is when it does that. It because I have to hold the power button to capture on this type of phone. So it'll sometimes actually power off the screen, which I wasn't trying to do. Just take the picture. Okay. Took forever to take the picture. Hold on, y'all. I gotta pull this tortilla off because it was starting to burn. Okay. I had to pull that glove off. All right. Here we go. All right. All right, y'all. So as you can see, Chef on a Budget, Eat Your Way Healthy looks delicious and did not cost a lot, and it's all healthy. All the foods on my plate are going to promote a boost in my iron. So from the sweet potatoes to the broccoli to the red meat and even the lime and citrus in the pico de gallo. Didn't add any extra salts other than sea salt, kosher salt, the healthy salt. And yeah, I'm ready to eat. So I'm about to jump off this live, but I really do appreciate y'all for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for my returning viewers, for my returning subscribers. Again, we'll do the subscriber celebration tomorrow. And I'll more than likely come on camera then, have my afro and be looking my presentable self. Right now, I'm in a whole bonnet. So I ain't really trying to be on camera. I know I jumped in there for a hot second. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. For those who have not, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If anyone would like to bless my channel, my cash app is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I will also post it down in the comments. And again, I want to give a shout out to Jordan Sneakers. Thank you so much, love, for continuing to tune in on a regular basis. And again, for those who haven't, y'all go under my community wall on my YouTube channel, scroll down to her post and go support her channel too, because she's part of the family. She's a big, big family. So y'all go support Jordan Sneakers. And again, I will return. Um, if I do a live tonight, I'm definitely not gonna come on camera. So let me see how I feel. 'Cause I'm a little tired, and I have an appointment tomorrow. But if I do, y'all will just see my avatar. If not, y'all will see my face tomorrow. All right, y'all. Thank you again. Let me see. Uh, hold on, my phone's being. Oh, what happened? What just happened? What just happened? Okay. It was sort of a black screen, so yeah, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.